You've been lied to. You were told that if you just went to school, got good grades, and followed the rules, everything would fall into place. But here's the truth. The most important financial lessons, the ones that actually create wealth, freedom, and power, were never in the curriculum. Why? Because teaching them would create a generation of independent thinkers, not obedient workers. But today that changes. You're about to uncover the lessons school forgot, or maybe even intentionally left out. This is the Money Compendium, and if you're here, you're not lost. You're ready. So let's get into it. Number 1, your time has a price tag. In school, time is managed for you. The bell rings, you switch classes, you ask to use the bathroom. No one teaches you that your time is your most valuable asset. And most adults never break out of that mindset. They trade their hours for dollars without ever asking, is this worth my time? That's the first shift. Start treating time like money because it is. Millionaires don't just work hard. They work smart. They delegate. They say no. They use leverage. Because they know, if you waste your time, you're robbing your future. Want to know how this mindset plays out in the real world? The next lesson will show you exactly that. Number 2, saving alone won't make you rich. Remember being told to just save your lunch money and everything would be okay? That's not how wealth works anymore. Inflation eats savings. And banks? They're not rewarding you. They're using your money to grow their empires. Real wealth comes from making money work for you, through investing, through ownership, through cash-flowing assets. A savings account is a parking spot, not a vehicle. If your money isn't moving, it's dying. So here's the shift. Save to invest, not just to feel safe. And if you've been taught that investing is risky, wait till you see what the real risk is in the next lesson. Number 3, playing it safe is often the riskiest move. We were taught to play it safe. Stay in your lane, follow the rules, avoid mistakes. But the truth? The most successful people you know took calculated risks. Not reckless bets, calculated, strategic risks. Playing it too safe is how you end up stagnant, underpaid, or obsolete. Think about this. Kodak invented the digital camera and then buried it. They were too afraid to disrupt their film business. Today, gone. If you want to win, you have to be willing to challenge the status quo, especially when it comes to money. And the next lesson proves just how rigged the safe path really is. Number 4, debt isn't always bad. School taught us debt is evil. Avoid credit cards. Don't borrow money. But here's the truth. The rich use good debt to buy assets. Poor people use bad debt to buy liabilities. That's the difference. Debt used to buy real estate, grow a business, or invest in education that gives real ROI. That's not a burden. That's a lever. But they never taught you that, did they? Because if you knew how to use credit properly, you wouldn't be stuck. You'd thrive. And that's not what they want. No, they want you going into debt for impulse buys like big screen TVs or cars too far out of your price range. The key is knowing the difference between debt that makes you money and debt that traps you. But what traps most people isn't just debt. It's the way they think. Let's talk about that. Number 5, time is your greatest resource, but your mindset is your greatest tool. Here's something no one teaches in school. Your beliefs shape your financial destiny. If you believe money is evil, or that you're not good with numbers, guess what? You'll act accordingly. Most self-made millionaires were once people who decided to think differently. They saw possibility where others saw fear. They saw investments where others saw expenses. The real challenge, the one that brings wealth, is mastering your own mind. That's where this journey starts. If you can shift your mindset, everything else follows. And in the second half of this video, we're going to show you exactly how to do that, with real, powerful financial lessons most people will never hear. But before we get into the second half, take a moment to recognize something. If you're still here, you're not average. You're not a spectator. You're a builder. You're a part of a small group of people actively taking control of their future. And that's rare. So if you're finding this valuable, hit like, smash that subscribe button and drop a comment saying, "I'm growing my wealth mindset," because we're building a movement, and we can't do it without you. This is where the mindset shifts from survival to strategy, where we take what we've learned and begin building a real financial future. Number 6. Budgeting isn't about deprivation. It's about permission. The word budget has been ruined. For most people, it triggers guilt, shame, and thoughts of cutting every joy out of life. But here's what school never told you. A budget isn't a cage. It's a roadmap. It's not about saying no to everything. It's about choosing what to say yes to, guilt-free. Imagine walking into a store and knowing exactly what you can spend without stress. Imagine buying something and feeling empowered instead of anxious. That's what real budgeting does. When you treat your money like a plan, not a punishment, you stop leaking energy. You stop playing defense and start playing offense. It's not about giving things up, it's about giving your dollars a job, even if that job is buying your daily oat milk latte. As long as it fits in the plan, it's a power move, not a mistake. Number 7. Your credit score is a gatekeeper, and it's watching early. No one teaches this in school, but your credit score isn't something that starts mattering later. It starts the moment you turn 18. It's like a financial reputation, a silent judge watching how you borrow and pay back money. Pay late on a credit card? That's a scar. Max out a card? That's a red flag. But use credit wisely and with an early start? That's how you unlock the good stuff. Lower interest rates, better insurance, even job offers in some industries. Here's the thing. Your credit score is one of the few things in life that either opens doors or slams them shut, ominously, behind the scenes, without ever announcing itself. And the sooner you start building it with care, the more power you hold later on. They never told you that, did they? They just threw you into the world and hoped you figured it out. But now you know, and that makes you dangerous in the best way. Number 8. Interest can build empires or bury you. Albert Einstein once called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. And he wasn't joking. Interest has the power to build empires. It's the silent force behind every successful investment. Your money making more money while you sleep. But the same force can destroy you if you're on the wrong side of it. Credit card debt? That's compound interest working against you. A $5,000 balance at 25% interest can quietly balloon into tens of thousands if ignored. It's financial quicksand. You sink slowly until it's too late. But when you harness it properly, like through long-term investing, retirement accounts, or dividend-paying stocks, it's a snowball rolling downhill, growing effortlessly. This isn't optional knowledge. This is the code that separates wealth builders from wage slaves. And it's time you learn how to use it like a master. Number 9. Taxes are everywhere, not just in April. You remember your first paycheck, right? The shock of expecting $500 but only seeing $368? That wasn't a mistake. That was taxes. But nobody broke it down for you. What's FICA? What's Medicare? Why does your friend with kids get a fat refund while you owe? And don't even get me started on self-employment taxes. It's like a whole second job just understanding it. Here's what they didn't teach. Taxes are not just a once-a-year thing. They're hidden in gas, groceries, purchases, your paycheck, everywhere. But once you understand them, you can learn to navigate them. You can adjust your withholdings. You can take advantage of deductions. You can make taxes work for you, but ignorance? That costs more than any tax rate ever could. Knowledge here isn't just power, it's profit. Number 10. You're not supposed to do this alone. This might be the most important lesson of all. Because school trains you to think that if you don't understand something, it's because you're not smart enough. But personal finance isn't intuitive. It's designed to be confusing. There's a reason the system is buried in jargon. APRs, ETFs, Roth IRAs, amortization schedules. They want you to be confused. And it works, but it's not because you're dumb. It's because no one ever explained it clearly. But guess what? You don't have to figure it out alone. There are mentors, there are books, there are communities, there are creators, like this one, building bridges between confusion and confidence. You don't need to know everything. You just need to be willing to learn, ask for help, seek the right sources. And remember, a lot of the people you admire financially, they started where you are. They just decided not to stay there. You've just been through a crash course that school should have given you, but didn't. You've learned that budgeting is freedom, that credit is a key, that interest is a weapon, and that money isn't just math, it's mindset. And if you're still here, you're one of the few who's ready to change. You're not just consuming content, you're preparing for war. Because life will challenge you financially. The difference now is you're not going in blind. You've got a compass, and you're not walking alone. So here's your final assignment. And no, it's not graded, it's lived. Take one thing from this video and act on it today. Whether it's checking your credit, setting up a budget, or reading that book you've been putting off. Just start. Progress over perfection. Every empire starts with one brick. Thank you for watching the Money Compendium. And before you go, we just want to say good luck in your financial journey. We believe in you. You're already doing more than most just by being here. So keep showing up and keep leveling up. The future is yours. You just have to go out and claim it.